For TraderInsight.com, I'm Adrian Manns. Let's take a look at what happened Monday, August 13th, 2018 in the first hour trading pit. So today I focused on the Fastball XRV setups. I had CALM, which was the first of these stocks to trigger. We had a 47.74 stop on this initially and a 48.41 go line. You can see why I put the stop down here. That got us under all this range from the Friday close. As the stock triggered and got us in, it immediately left behind a support and resistance area right about here that made for a good place to move the stop. And in fact, 48.21 was the level that I spoke about in the room once we got up above the entry threshold and started making this move up toward our profit target. 48.45 was the fill on the way in, and $49.10 was where I started pairing off this trade. And you all remember what happened there. We had a 48.10 exit. It did wind up popping up above this pivot line just a little bit, but all said and done, a profit of 65 cents per share traded on CALM. There was only one other XRV stock that triggered in the first hour trading pit. That was PBYI, Puma Biotechnology Incorporated. This one, 44.50 was the go line, and if you'll recall from the weekend webinar, I said I was going to use 46.20 as the initial stop loss on this one, and then my goal, of course, was to try to find a more suitable stop once the stock started trading. So my eye, initially anyways, was on just grabbing this stop and ratcheting it down into about here at $44.91. Well, that didn't happen, needless to say, because once we hit that 44.50 trigger line, it was off to the races, and we were straight down to that $43.46 profit objective. Puma Biotechnology handed over $1 per share traded, and those of you who joined us in the room, you know I was in the process of trying to move my 43.46 target and drop it down. I really saw this coming, that we were going to have a move down into this extension range. But this one hit our target too quickly to even make that change first thing in the morning. Either way, it's better than a poke in the eye, right? So I will take $1 in profits any day of the week. Fastball XRV sure feels like we are starting off another great week this Monday morning. Those are the only ones that triggered in the first hour for that. The other thing that we had on deck, of course, were a couple of Baltimore chops. Let's have a look at those now. I handled Nielsen Holdings in the room live this morning. This was a 2 standard deviation opening gap. We had a setup on this one that gave us an entry price right below that first bar of trading. This is everyone's least favorite way to enter these, of course. We prefer to see a nice little pullback. The stop loss on this was very tight, and that's because we had a really good level here of volume that we could see, so $25.38. We see all this volume by price out here. That was a tell that if it got up above there, it was going to hit the top of that first bar, if not further. But once again, not an issue, as we had a nice Fibonacci target on this. You'll recall down here at $24.78. So not a huge trade by any stretch of the imagination, but I've said before, I calls them like I sees them, right? So this is a trapdoor entry, first bar entry. They're a little bit trickier usually than the pullback variation of this thing. A gain of 35 cents per share traded on NLSN. And finally, for the first hour trading pit, we had a Baltimore chop set up in Dycom Industries Incorporated. This one had more potential for profit, and even though it wound up putting in a second bar in the morning, it still wound up being an entry at the violation of that first bar high. So we were looking for a long entry above $71.31. The stop on this one, if you're following the logic on these, was initially down below the low of that bar, so $69.66, and then it was just a matter of watching the price action after we got in to trail that stop along. The fib expansion on this one was just up to $72.57. So $72.57 was the initial target on this one. It went up there and hit that level. This one, unfortunately, I didn't catch because I was busy with the other trades, but we did call this one in the room. So if you got it and you managed to trade through, good for you. And if you missed the entry like I did, it was probably because you were focusing on the other trades that were going on at the time. We had some good stuff happen on the Around the Horn trading plan as well. Julie will go over that. But for my part this morning, 3 entries, 3 profitable exits at my targets. If today was your first day in the First Hour Trading Pit, if you're joining us after the event in San Jose, California, then welcome. I know it's probably a little bit confusing when you're looking at this at first, but it should make sense in a hurry. Tomorrow we will have an additional moderator in the room. That'll be Rick Kipp. He is focused on the Baltimore chop trades, and that should serve to get you in front of even more opportunities and give you more explanation about what's going on. So there you have it. That's Monday. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, adrian@traderinsight.com. I hope you had a great trading day today and an even better one on deck for tomorrow. It's the best trader education anywhere, only from traderinsight.com.